Historical Reconstruction of Aryan X. Episode 58. The figure known as Shakespeare was a fake and never existed in the first place. What would you think if I told you that the figure we know as Shakespeare, the great writer of England, was a fake and never existed? What if the things we unconsciously assume to be self-evident are not so self-evident after all? When discerning the truth, it is not too late to judge after hearing the other side's story. Of the information you hold, what percentage can you be certain is true? The historical knowledge I am sharing with you is not something I learned from someone else. It is something I have researched and verified myself by examining all the materials. Have any of you ever personally verified the materials to confirm the truth of the information you hold? Likely not even once. On a foundation of incorrect information, any effort becomes futile. It is the wish of those who manipulated history that this false and fabricated information becomes accepted as a matter of course. The truth of Shakespeare. If we propose that the Rome of the Roman Empire was a Buddhist culture of Rama, Brahmin, and Baramuni, representing the characteristics of this European region, what Western classics could possibly contain this Buddhist culture? They are none other than King Lear and Romeo and Juliet. Aha, so it was Shakespeare. Shakespeare's plays were performed in the amphitheaters of West Asia, North Africa, and Europe. In the modern era, the British Empire, which had taken control of these European regions of Haital as liberation culture under the name of Ottoman Turkey, gathered and collected all the play scripts from those regions, translated them into English, and brazenly presented them as the works of a fictional playwright named William Shakespeare. While boasting that he was a great writer of England they wouldn't trade even for India, they fabricated the existence and physicality of this imaginary figure, Shakespeare, to support their claim. Let's quote a few passages from They Say Shakespeare is a Fraud in the preface of Virginia Fellowes' The Shakespeare Code. Owen pondered the repetitive phrases in Shakespeare's plays, including even those that were particularly out of context. Some passages were incomprehensible. But no one could explain these phrases that appeared arbitrarily and without much reason in every Shakespearean play. The more he knew of Shakespeare's plays, the more his bewilderment grew. Why are so many passages repeated? Why would the world's most brilliant playwright use such nonsensical phrases? Owen also began to suspect, along with the American scholar Delia Bacon, why Shakespeare made so many settings in his plays resemble the Elizabethan era. Why did Hamlet attend a university that didn't even exist at the time? Why did Shakespeare write about weapons that had not yet been invented and clocks that did not exist? An author well-versed in English history as well as historical drama could not have been unaware that canons did not exist during the reign of King John. So what do these questions imply? This was likely due to a lack of communication and understanding between the collectors, who illegally gathered the original comedy scripts from the regions conquered by force, and the forgers who manipulated those originals. Furthermore, it was because they couldn't fully align everything while trying to force-fit the timeline to the fabricated Shakespearean era. In other words, the era when the scripts were actually written or performed was much later, but these works were artificially manipulated to forcibly match the Elizabethan era. Now, let's take a look at the comedy of the British people's creation of the fictional character Shakespeare. Quoting from Jack Lynch's Becoming Shakespeare, by the mid-19th century, the spelling of Shakespeare's name had undergone numerous changes. In this book as well, various spellings appear, such as Shakespeare, 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 and so on. Among the early spellings were even Shakespeare and Shakespeare. According to the calculations of the critic E.K. Chambers, the spellings of Shakespeare's name reached 83 variations. Aha! It becomes clear, as if a vivid picture is being drawn, why Shakespeare came to have a confusing name with 83 different spellings. On the desks of the forgers who fabricated this imaginary Shakespeare lay collected manuscripts, each containing about 80 different terms related to the fictional Shakespeare whose meanings they did not fully grasp. Words like Shakespeare, 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 at the beginning, the end, or interspersed throughout. This confusion in terminology, arising from various regional or historical circumstances, was exposed as writers recorded and used their own versions. It was only in the 20th century that the British, who had gathered and manipulated all these scripts, finally settled on Shakespeare. We read this Shakespeare as Shaka Spaha. In Tibet, to the east, it is pronounced Bodhispaha. It means the Buddha has spoken. If you ask someone who speaks a Latin-based language to pronounce spear, they will likely say spaha, because they pronounce the R with an H sound. The Korean words saibda, faibuhuda are its original form. This name suggests that in the amphitheaters of the Buddhist Haital culture in Europe, Africa, and West Asia, while performing secular plays, they would insert allusions or moral lessons at the beginning, in the middle, or at the end, saying Shaka Spaha, meaning, thus spoke Shakyamuni. It is the same as concluding the Buddhist scripture, the Heart Sutra, with Gate Padasangate Bodhiswaha. It is the Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara, while preaching the Heart Sutra, affirming the legitimacy and necessity of his own sermon by saying, "Behold, did not the Buddha also preach thus?" Let's quote the mantra part of the Heart Sutra. Gate Padasangate. This means, the Buddha has spoken, saying to hold fast to paramita, the perfection of liberation, and not let it go. The Bard of Avon, the Swan of Avon, a record of baptism on April 26, 1564 in Stratford-upon-Avon. Regarding this historical figure named Shakespeare, who passed away on April 23, 1616, in the very place he was born, quietly and without leaving a single name on his tombstone, we know surprisingly little. We truly know nothing about this country bumpkin from Stratford, who died leaving a petty will that bequeathed his second-best bed to his wife. When the world of European Haital was being carved up, conquered, and destroyed by the invading British Empire, the great spirits of that European liberation foresaw the catastrophic death of Pachanhuang, depicted the scenes of that hell, exposed those facts, and warned the masses and youth of that world. This is the truth of Shakespearean tragedy. Oh, Shaka Spaha. We can also infer that the ancient, medieval, and modern histories of Europe, which we thought were as precise as the North Star, are all complete fabrications. Ah, it is a shuddering realization. Ah, the very foundation of my existence and consciousness has been shaken to its core. Those who could not surrender the pride of their noble spirit of Great Haital were all either dead or killed. Hundreds of millions of Othellos were slaughtered. The perpetrators of that massacre act as if they are the guardians of modern democracy and human rights, respected as gentlemen, philanthropists, humanists, and altruists in this absurdly contradictory world. But no matter how much they dismantle the British Empire, the vivid bloodstains of the Othellos on their hands can never be erased. Wasn't what the history manipulators were trying to hide the true reality of global history, which was connected to the Scythian Aryans in Turkmenistan? How can we reveal the truth of these hidden, manipulated things? In the next episode, we will reveal the secrets of Buddhist manipulation. I sincerely hope that you will contact many people to join in this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The heavens and the earth will tremble. Subtitles can be translated into the language of each country, so please make use of them. If there are any issues, please contact us via the comments or through Google Mail. Our Google Mail address is aryanrealhistory@gmail.com. Our YouTube video address is Historical Reconstruction of Aryan X or History Restoration of Aryan X. Your subscriptions and likes are a representation of your conscience and passion for the truth, so please do not forget them.